Trek Fuel EXe. Is this the bike to symbolise a change in the sport of MTB, where the new mid-assist will replace analog as the bike of choice for many riders? Will this style bike, this bike even, become the everyday MTB of the future? Does this really change everything? During a period of unprecedented levels of heat here in the UK, I've decided to take on a journey with the all-new Fuel EXe to see if this tiny motor, small capacity battery can really take on heavy terrain in 30-degree heat without wilting or becoming breathless. At the same time, I'll be taking it to a traditional MTB heartland of trail riding. After all, that is the soul of the 140mm 29-inch wheel fuel. So we are now in an environment more suited to a hiker on foot than a biker on two wheels, and begins with a standard mid-wheels gate lift for sure. It'll be tied up, yeah. Here we go. Now, whilst the whole business of lightweight can be overplayed sometimes, I definitely think it matters in situations such as this. The Fuel EXe rides, feels and looks like an analogue bike. Trek say if you love riding bikes but want to ride a bit further or climb a bit higher, this is the bike. Or can it? Today we will see temperatures of up to 38 degrees. We will have a mountain that is almost 1,000 metres vertical, a battery a mere 360 watt-hours, a rider who is not light, a backpack which is laden with water, and trail conditions which are, let's say, tough. With a 360 watt-hour battery, Trek say this bike will be able to go on a 2 to 5 hour ride and also have a range extender of 160 watt-hours, which I don't have today. Wow, literally 200 metres in and we have another obstacle. And I can tell you what, lifting an 18 kilo bike is a lot easier than lifting a 24 kilo one. I'm just a bit worried that this wood is going to survive. The question is, however, why would someone choose this bike over an analogue bike? Well, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. This is so much more mountain bike than ever before. And whilst we covered some of the basics of the new Fuel EXe from Trek a few weeks ago, such things as the new TQ motor, a mid-assist motor, 50 newton-meters of torque, 360 watt-hour super lightweight battery. But what we didn't actually explore was how the bike actually rides in a range of environments. And I think this is certainly the place to try and test them. Wow, a bike like this really does enable you to do things which would be quite difficult to do on a normal MTB, and with a motor so quiet, really does allow you to pick your lines and appreciate what's around you. Now, whilst we have been riding some reasonably smooth single track up until now, when you get close to the summit, things do get more technical and definitely more involved. 200 metres from the summit, to give you a quick roundup of my feelings of my first time on the Fuel EXe in a proper mountain environment. I actually think that there's less spin out, and by less spin I mean that because on a full power EMTB, when you're in the high power mode on loose terrain like loose stones and loose roots, they do tend to spin a bit if you haven't got weight and traction on the back tyre. I think there's actually less spinning on a bike like this. So yeah, it's been an interesting day so far for sure. Of course, a motor and associated battery are only part of the story. There's other things such as suspension design and geometry that count equally as much. You cannot use power to its full potential if your body is in the wrong position. This bike then is clearly a lot more capable than an MTB. This motor will not scare my sheep friends because of the noise. It would be far more likely that my heavy breathing on an analog MTB to draw their attention. Wow, we're getting into some pretty chunky terrain up here, and whilst I think that a good rider on a traditional MTB might make it through there, they certainly wouldn't be able to do it so fast. And on a day like this in 38-degree heat, all I want to do is get down off that mountain as quickly as possible and jump in that lake. We get to an incredible viewpoint. This a proper MTB ride. No uplift, no chairlift, not even any people. Ahead of us, the punishing last section. A big question hangs over us. Can the fuel actually make it? Okay folks, welcome to Kite in North Wales, the first ever trail centre in the UK. Now so far my exploits on the Fuel EXe have been on my natural single track trails further south. We're currently halfway up Cadair Idris to be continued, and we're now here on, as I mentioned, the first trail centre in the UK. So this is very much a manufactured environment, but are we actually zoning in to find where the sweet spot is in terms of riding on the Fuel EXe? Wow, the diversity of trail here at Kite is immense. We've got smooth single track, we've got super technical single track, we've got fire roads such as this. I want to draw your attention actually to the sound of the TQ motor. It's barely audible. But the big question I'd like to get answered here at Kite is, can we tempt some mountain bikers to try EMTB? Matt, what a great trail. MBR trail.
Brilliant, yeah, absolutely.
I want to turn your attention to this bike here. Kind of thoughts on it?
Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good to me. Trek,
yeah.
Good make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about if I was to tell you that it's an e-bike?
Is it? No.
Here we go, back to Matt. Well, I'm just looking at the size of the bottom bracket, and that's pretty good if that's an e-bike.
Could I tempt you like a quick little cheeky go on it?
I'll have a go, yeah.
You've not been on an e-bike before?
No.
Whoa! Whoa! Great. There you go. Jump on. Yeah. Well, Matt's first go on an e-bike.
Oh, right.
Don't forget to change gear.
Yeah, I never tried that going uphill. That's astonishing, actually. That's so much easier, isn't it?
Oh, that's so big.
You'll work it out.
Oh my God, you don't.
Away goes Sonia.
When you pedal harder, it goes like a bullet. Zoom!
So let's do a quick wrap up, folks.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Curious? E-curious? Maybe not.
I'm impressed with it because the size of the frame and bottom bracket, you wouldn't immediately think it's an e-bike.
Nah.
And then not having tried e-bikes before, that I can see the appeal now. Yeah.
Sonia?
What do you reckon, Sonia?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Especially when you get up the hill.
We're back on the mountain. We're literally about 100 meters vertical from the summit, and this is the kind of terrain that you could have the skills of, say, Danny McCaskill or Chris Ackrig to get up. And I think we're actually now got to a part of the track which is pretty much another sport. And as we've seen at Enduro World Series, the power stage where riders tackle a minute of super technical trial type riding, that's kind of what we're in at the minute, except about 10 times harder. Walk mode, you say? I don't think you'll find walk mode any good in this place. What I'm very happy about is the fact that I've got 18 kilos and not 24, that's for sure. Mountaineering, dude. I think I've actually found another benefit of lightweight e-bikes, and that is you can carry them relatively easily. Oh, it's a good workout this is. Who needs to go to the gym and do squats when you go that? Ravens doing their aerial maneuvers here close to the summit. And there is the summit actually. The question is, will we be able to make it? And the answer to that question can be found on the top tube. Now, on the Trek Fuel EXe, there's a really cool feature which tells you how far you'll be able to get in each of the power modes. So currently in the top power mode, I'll be able to go 3 kilometers. Bear in mind, it's a weight-based calibration which has gone on this bike as I've ridden up here. I can do 3 kilometers in 34 minutes. However, if I switch that to eco mode, I've got 27 kilometers and 1 hour and 40 minutes left of riding. So I think we can make it, and I think we can make it back down too. It's worth mentioning the Trek Central app also has many great features. You can adjust the outputs of the motor to give you more range or more power. But one thing that is really cool is how you can check your air pressure settings in both the tyres and suspension. This will dramatically improve your riding experience. Now, inasmuch as the trail centre environment is the natural habitat for a 140mm 29-inch wheel bike, I think we've proven, we being me and the Fuel EXe, can live in a proper mountain environment such as we have here in Mid Wales. So all we have to do now is descend almost 900 metres of pre-Cambrian rock. So, well, 29-inch wheels should be straightforward, right? You know what, I think as a group of riders, many of us have been shoehorned into a mountain bike experience, whether it be bike parks or trail centres, such as this one at Coed Brennan. And I'm really happy that I've been actually reacquainted with a place such as this. I mean, look at that trail. It is, in many ways, it's equally as difficult as what we found on the rugged slopes of Cadair Idris. And the great thing about this, you've got a cafe, it's waymarked. You know, it's convenient. I mean, some of us actually like convenience, but let's forget about convenience just for a minute. Let's turn to experience. And I believe that a bike such as this, with a little bit added weight over a traditional MTB, will allow you to maintain more momentum through the collisions. The question is, will this bike be the new benchmark of what people choose when they're riding trail centres? Having had some spare time to ponder in these remote and magical hills, I'm thinking that inasmuch as this bike is partly about the amazing technology, details which we will go into much more in the future weeks, I feel there's a bigger picture here that many of you will want answering. What is this bike for? And who is it for? This then is a bike that does trail bike style riding. It has trail bike style features, the same sounds, the same handling, but just a little bit better, faster and stronger. And so with that in mind, the comparison here is much closer with the Fuel EXe than its stablemate, the Rail. But folks, what do you think about mid-assist bikes? What do you think about quiet e-bikes? What do you think about 140, 150 as the optimum amount of travel? One last question. Do you guys think that this is the bike that will transition people from mountain biking to e-mountain biking? It's a big question. Please get involved in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to EMBN. Give a thumbs if you like the video. And don't forget to get to Wales to the 38-degree heat. I think we're going crazy.